everybody. My name is Puppeteen from the Geeky Pup Show here on the Geeky Pup Show today for what? For Resident Alien Season 4, Episode 5. A little bit of a recap and review. And joining me, as always, is that comic book frog. It's comic book frog. Froggy.
Hi. Is this on?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, it's on.
It's on?
Where are you broadcasting from?
The swamp. I'm on location.
Oh. Well, I don't know what else I would expect from a frog.
I'm knee deep in it, but I'll get the report.
I didn't think you had knees.
Not anymore.
Anyway,
just thinking.
Oh God! Is that where they went to quicksand?
Well, it was a slow death, not a real quicksand.
Well, at least you're going to spend the last few moments of your life reviewing this show, which is awesome.
Yeah, learning what it's like to be human.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Really what Harry has to do. That's really what Harry has to do in this episode, because he is accepting that he is suffering from a loneliness.
Well, yeah, his girlfriend, he broke up with his girlfriend. She went back. Now he's alone by himself. He's depressed. And he decides to do what lonely people do. He goes to a bar to get shit-faced.
Yeah. There's a girl there that flirts with him a little.
Yeah, he talks to Big Black. He's like, oh, are you a lonely too? Are
you a lonely too? I don't know if you're trying to say lonely, but I'm not down for that.
He's like, that girl giving the eyes, go talk to her. He's like, hi. He's like, I'm a doctor. And it's like, I see a lot of vagina.
Yep. Sees a lot, and that's all he talks about for
and it weirds her out. So he's like, Big Black pulls him in the bathroom. He's like, what the hell, man? Like, yeah, you can't do that. Because she's gonna call the cops, and then I'm the cop, and I'm gonna have to do something.
Yeah. Makes mention of listen, if you don't want to be lonely, you got to make sure to put yourself in a good position and take your time, but don't take too much time. Otherwise, you end up in the friend zone.
Yeah, you slide into that back door, wouldn't get that cupcake.
Yeah, it's like waiting in line for a cupcake, and you know it's worth it because
yep,
that cupcake's fine, tastes good, but by the time you get in there, somebody has snuck through the back door.
Yep,
taking it, slept with your cupcake.
Yep.
So don't sleep with cupcakes.
Honestly,
lesson today.
I was trying to figure out what would be a great background or just a thumbnail. Obviously this is awesome because there's always reminds me of like the commercials, like in the Warner Brother commercials spectrum.
Oh well, the thing is, before we get to our little poker game.
No, I was going to point out because the other thumbnail I was going to go with for this was going to be actually him and Asta in the back of the pickup truck, but so Asta does show up, and she talks to him, and then he decides, well, heck, find someone you love, he gets on his knee, proposes a master marriage, and she's like, what? They go out, and he spills his heart out, and they kind of just sit in the back of the truck,
Yeah.
And
she explains that, no, I'm not going to marry you, Harry. Yeah.
There is a really cool part of the story because we're wondering, where's Dan? Dan's back this episode. He's singing with his cousin or his brother and in the band.
He is there. I fear for the man. I believe he might be sick with something because he
lost a lot of weight. Yes,
so much weight was lost, and they actually make a mention of, well, you're in perfect shape for it. He does not look in perfect shape for it.
He's in perfect shape. So anyway. Yeah, so Dan's back in this now, and Dan's going to take a trip to the diner. This might be their way of writing him off the show. We don't know. But he's leaving, and Asta convinces him, hey, go because the band wants to go on tour, but he don't want it because he's going to watch the diner. He's old. He's just like, no. She's like, soon he'll be an elder. He's like, excuse me? He's like, no. Like, you're not going to have time to do all this stuff you doing. So go on, have fun. I'll take the diner, take over. I worked at all these part shifts. I know what needs to be done. And of course, my biggest thing is like whenever someone says it, something always goes wrong, and well, Asta takes care of it pretty much. The refrigerator dies, but she's able to basically call a repairman to come in and get it fixed and stuff. and she's also running between this and also handling the being a nurse, there, and so she's basically torn between the diner and her job, and of course, and so the only thing I didn't like about Asta in this episode is that she's being a nurse and says like when she's taking a waitress or taking an order for someone so she knows the clinic. Like, you're on the cholesterol, and the person's like, I want a chocolate shake and a cheeseburger. She's like, how about you get a salad? I'm thinking like, that's how you lose business.
Yeah.
But so basically, with Dan being gone, we got to see Dan come in, and then she's watching the diner. Something's gonna go wrong. Of course, that person is Darcy. Darcy basically wants to adopt a dog, but she's rejected because, she's been arrested multiple times even recently.
2 months ago.
Yeah, so she recruits
the face of public statue.
So she ends up recruiting Judy to go there, and Judy gets rejected too. So they decide they're gonna break into the place, and they use give me a credit card. Turns out Judy had basically been using
helped herself.
Yep.
Because at the end of last episode, they pretty much hung out all night, and it's really just
so. Judy, gives her credit card, and then Darcy drops the credit card in there, and like, oh no, so because they're trying to break in and get the dog, stupid plan. Anyway, and they end up like, the window gets broken because Darcy tries to get in, and her arm gets stuck trying to lock it, which is kind of like reminding me of Homer Simpson. Maybe he's trying to get the can of soda or out of the vending machine, and all he had to do was let go. I'm kind of that's what Judy was like too. But anyway, they end up like getting arrested. She stays there, and now they have a court date. And then she's talking to Asta towards the end of this episode, and Asta says like, "Hey, can you do me a favor? I gotta wait for this repairman. Can you take my money bag and go?" Because remember they have to drop at the end because what's her name owns the bar. I thought pretty much I think doesn't Darcy own the bar? 41? Yeah. So she also has to drop off money in the till bag at the end, the bank. So she's like, well, and Asta's like, can you take the restaurants, diners, like, earnings, drop it off the bank to, and like, he's like, Darcy's like, oh, sure. And instead, she goes to the bar, she starts drinking.
Well, she has to, so the thing is, she has to go ahead and close down the bar anyway.
No, but she gets drunk, and when she wakes up, her jacket's gone, and so is Asta's money from the diner. She got robbed, or we don't know. We just know that she's freaking out. She knows that she messed up again. Maybe Judy actually did it, or someone took it to the bank. We don't know, But
you're
she screwed up again.
Something positive of Judy.
Stranger things have happened.
Oh, Judy. Speaking about the end of this episode.
No, before we get that, let's talk about Harry. So Harry decides to spend time with Bridgette, but before that, he goes to Max's house. He's in Max's bed.
I've decided to adopt you. What? What do you mean?
And Max says, like, you're not even cool anymore. You're a creepy old human guy in my bedroom, in my bed, which is creepy. And then he's like, well, fine. I don't, Harry gets like, well, I don't want to be your friend, your dad anymore. He gets up he stands up, and he's like, he gets up out of the bed. He's just wearing his tiny whitey pants on. Because Mac's like, why are you in my bed? He's like, well, since I'm human, I'm constantly cold now. This sucks. Mm-hmm. And so he leaves that. He goes to hang out with Bridgette, who's his son, adopted son, or whatever. He was actually the other guy, alien from New York. And,
but wasn't it actually him or something like that?
It was him from time traveling. That's what it was.
So
it was him.
It is technically son.
Yeah. And that's funny. Like they call Bridgette his son, but in this episode, Bridgette is actually a girl with a nose ring stuff, and they're fishing, and Bridgette hates it, and Bridgette wants to go back, and Harry's like, oh, it's fine. The whole point is the humans is to talk about why and complain what we're not catching anything.
This is after Harry ruined the poker game.
Yeah, because the poker game were here. They all basically were racist to him.
Yeah.
They were all raised mine, and they basically all feel like he's inadequate. So they end up leaving. Bridgette
they call him a hosape, and he's like, you can't say that. That's our word.
Yeah, the Greys would say that all the time. Yeah. But he's all, yeah. So so he's trying to make it up, bond with Bridgette, and Bridgette doesn't like it. So then Bridgette's like, well, screw this. Grabs into the water, pulls out a fish, is about to bite it. He's like, don't you dare do that. No, we're gonna. So then Bridgette jumps to the water and swims. He's like, well, I can't complain. The kid is a really good swimmer. But then after explaining to Bridgette later on, talking to Bridgette changes his mind and actually wants to spend time with Harry on the boat and everything.
But this is after, Harry is visited late one night as he's walking in his cabin. Who is it? Bridgette, are you back? No, it's the alien tracker. Ah!
Yes. John Locke is back. Actually gives a heart-to-heart conversation. Says, Harry, you're still an alien. You're 100% an alien and 100% a human. You're both,
Your math doesn't check out, which is really a shame because you are a robot.
So the alien tracker is going to go look for his son,
Yes.
And he's
Last
not the
seen
only
in
one.
Vegas.
Yeah, he's not the only one looking for his son because, well, turns out Liz is also looking for his son too because she figures if she can find him, that they can find Joseph because they still think Joseph is the killer. But Big Black says to sit down with his wife, or not his wife. Well, should be it soon. For how much of those killer in love, his girlfriend, and then the other FBI agent, Jules Slate, from Firefly, and he says, "Yeah, you should be careful because it's an alien. It was a giant mantis." And his girlfriend's like, "What? Like, we're doing this for you? Like, embarrassed?"
Don't say that to the government agent. No!
Yeah. Well, remember, the government agents probably know, but I think we're going to see more of that Jewel. I think we're going to see more of her character in this. Because one of the big things they had in the actual, like in the comic book, is that the government was always trying to track him down, find him. Because mainly because he stole a bunch of money. Yeah. Anyway, so maybe that will come back. I know we had it with Lionel Hamilton tracking him, but Lionel Hamilton's gone. Remember? So it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense for someone to take over a new division looking for Harry.
Yeah. But what we get is Liv gets invited by Ben for a dinner party because he and his wife figure out, hey, she's hosting this podcast that was the Alien Trackers.
Yeah, so they need time to tell come clean because they're looking for their baby. And so they invite her over, guess who shows up?
Who invited himself?
Big Black. He brings a really sharp knife for cutting chicken, though, which Ben even agrees.
It's like cutting through yogurt.
Yep. And so they're trying to they want to get Liv alone to talk to her, and find more about this stuff. And finally, he just kind of blurs at the end, is like, our baby was abducted by aliens.
Yeah, because they find the camera that actually Darcy
put in there. Yes, because Big Black found it, and then Liv found it, and when they found
there's only one explanation for this.
They're swingers.
But the thing is, a moment before, Ben and Kate at the kitchen were like, we have to divert him, and Ben was like, so you want me to talk to Liv? And she's like, yeah. And so what's the distraction they use? They spill a drink on her and like, let's go ahead and take off that blouse before the stain sets. Take her to the bathroom, and she's like, I'm not a swinger.
I love it. So yeah, that's what's going on with everybody in the cast here, pretty much. But said at the very end of this episode, Harry's in his apartment. He thinks it's Bridget or somebody else, and then
alien tracker.
He does. Wait, no, wasn't he? No, not the track. No, he wasn't tracker. But yeah, after the alien tracker talking that. He talks to
Darcy. Talks to Asta the next morning at the diner.
Next morning, and the diner, and then he blinks out of existence.
Yep, just disappears mid-bite.
So it makes me wonder, because the Greys have basically told they're still watching her. Maybe the Greys took him.
Maybe
because who else takes people?
Your mother.
Which one?
I didn't know you had more than one.
Neither did I.
Oh. But no. So that is probably what happens. Unless it's something like nobody remembers Harry except for her. Then we might get into some trickery. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But overall, this is a good episode.
Oh, he's very fun. And I said these are very fun shows. These are good for everyone. Good humor, everything here, and this it's just clean fun.
Good humor like an ice cream bar.
Pretty much. It's like I said, this is one of the few shows I've seen on television that's very old school in a sense. They don't give a shit who they offend. They pretty much are just like, we're gonna put on a comedy.
They're living to go ahead, and they made a good comedy out of a book that's not really a comedy.
Honestly, the book is very dry humor. The guy Harry in the comic book series, he's the opposite of the Harry in the show. He's smart. He's brilliant. He even bangs Asta and gets her pregnant and they have a kid, a daughter. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. A lot of stuff.
Harry tells Asta in this episode at the end, sorry, you had your chance. You should have reached into my back door and grabbed my cupcake. But she's like, no, I'm good. I don't think that's going to happen here. But it is funny that it happened after you mentioned it last week.
Yeah, I told you. So I don't know. Remember, he is human now. So maybe I'm in that camp now. Asta and Harry.
You can, as the kids say, ship them all you like. I don't.
Hasta la vista.
Hasta la vista is what we're going to say right now. Leave your comments down below. Like and subscribe. It does help out the channel. We're going to finish reviewing this series, and we hope you stick around. Check out the show if you haven't. It's really good. But other than that,
also, if you want more Sandman, talk to Puppetine over here. Maybe you'll get a Sandman review. It's debuted on Netflix.
Not on your life. Go ahead and...
My wife? Oh, I wouldn't put anything on her either. Not myself. Ugh.
We'll see you next time. Bye!
And remember, I'm watching you, Amy. No forest fires.
You gotta stop setting the forest fires. You can't do this anymore, Amy.
We're
talking about this. The police are on your...